How's the audio? Oh, we got echo. Hang on. I'm watching myself on YouTube. All right, so the problem was I was talking on, I didn't load myself into the StreamYard. So I was prepping things backstage. Is there sound? All right, yeah, there is sound. Now there should be sound. Is there or is there not? Can you guys hear me? Good? Any echo or is it pretty solid? I was prepping backstage. Hang on a second. Let's bust this one off. All right, here we go. Hang on. All right. Yeah, so I was back. I was setting things up. I got my label maker back in action. So we got all of the entrants labeled up here on the top loader. No echo. Nice. I got the settings right this time. But I wasted 3 or 4 minutes of your life screwing around with the audio backstage. So lesson learned once again. But I think we're good. Let's see. Let's check the what's going on with this background lighting. Let me check. Let's see. Now we're pink. Now we're blue. What do you like? Blue? Look at this. Look at this. Wheel of color. Purple? Blue? Green? Blue? Purple? Blue hue? All right. Good enough. That'll do it. All right, 30 people. So when I scheduled this thing, I forgot about time zones here. Kind of. I usually do it at like 12 or 1. There was a guy that said he was participating in the break. He had some stuff going on this afternoon. So he requested 11 o'clock, and I was like, all right, 11 o'clock, good. That's good for Europe. It's late afternoon, but in West Coast, it'll be 9 o'clock. But, of course, like a moron, I did the math for 2 hours. It's really 3 hours different, so it's 8 a.m. Some guys are saying too early, so they'll check it out later, is what it is. You can't hit every time zone. All right, so what we're doing here is a sample pack break, and I've got the wheel of names up. I always forget, there's new people coming into Sorcery all the time, which is really awesome. And some people don't even know what the sample packs are. So I don't want to belabor the point too much on that. I covered that in the last live that I did last weekend. But let me share my screen really quick here and just cover like a few basics of what's going on. So we're going to pop this in. All right, there's the wheel of names. Let me clean up the desk a little bit here. I'll get into what these cards are. What we're going to do is we're going to do a sample pack break. There's 15 cards in the pack. 15 people bought in to the break, and I handle that like offline. Like this isn't like a whatnot stream where people just FOMO into the pack. I give them time to think about it and enter if they choose to, and then. So it's like it's pre-sold, right? So you can't just enter right now. But I'm going to show you where you can enter for the next one. This is the 7th pack that we've opened on the channel, and I do have several more, as you might have just seen in that stack that I showed a second ago. All right, let me put that over there. The art folio. These pro folios are really nice. I could talk about that a little bit more later. All right, guys, let me get situated here. I'm going to need a keyboard. The packs. So what are sample packs? These are sample packs. These are extremely rare, extremely valuable. They're selling for anywhere from like, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000 range in some cases. Sometimes you get it. I just acquired a few. I backed Sorcery at the Avatar of the Realm top pledge level. So that came with 12 of these sample packs. I think I did the first 4 breaks were my packs. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these are from my pledge tier. This one I acquired from Germany. So we'll talk about the differences there when I get to the break like I did last week. And then I also just got a few more coming from Europe. So we'll keep this going. Like some people were asking, do I have to get in on this one or the next one? Or will there be opportunities in the future? Oh, someone just bought one for $2,750. All right, thanks, man. That's a good data point. So, yeah, these things are very, very rare, very valuable, very high demand. So I'm going to go to the Collector Arthouse Discord channel here. We just hit 1,000 members, so thank you guys who are in there talking sorcery pretty much every day, having a good time. It's a lot of fun. So if you go to Collector Arthouse Discord, and yeah, so I think I did get this right. So in the description, by the way, if you want to like the video, that helps get more viewership and awareness for these events and stuff. Like I used to do like more recorded content on the channel, but then I started getting into like, I like doing lives a lot. I think it's a lot of fun engaging with people and just kind of like being spontaneous and seeing what happens. So if you like the lives and you want to spread the word to other people getting into the game or just that are into sorcery and the different like historical aspects and art and things like that, please like the channel and share the link. But as I was saying, in the description, there is a link here for Linktree. No. Linktree. I can't even find my own Linktree half the time. So I go to Google, Linktree, Collector Arthouse. There it is. There's me searching for it in the history. So yeah, it's some goofy link. linktr.ee. Why would any company do that instead of just like a solid Linktree? It must have been taken. So anyway, these are all of the forums that I've created over the past 2 years. So I have like a website, which I'll go to that maybe later if it's relevant. Patreon, this YouTube channel, the Sorcery Community Facebook group. We just hit 3,000 members there. That's really awesome. But go down here, you know, there's other Facebook groups, an art market, artist proofs and altars. This Collector Arthouse Facebook group was the first Facebook group I ever created that is more like fantasy art, you know, all kinds of different fantasy art. It was pre-sorcery, before sorcery existed. So I was just into fantasy art, and then I kind of just like fell in love with sorcery and created all these other forums, community groups and forums and things relating to sorcery. But at the bottom, you have Collector Arthouse Discord. You could click that to find the link to sign up. It'll take you here. Let me close that down. Back to the Collector Arthouse Discord. And then once you're in the Collector Arthouse Discord, see there's a guy that just signed. This guy that just entered. Jick for sure. Jack for sure. Welcome to Collector Arthouse Discord. I don't know. I'm always on mobile, so I don't even know how to check like how many people are in here. But I know we just hit 1,000, which is like a great milestone. That's like pretty high for Discord. I know Sophie and Jen's at Cardboard Guy just hit 1,000 recently, so congrats to you guys too. That's awesome. Doing a lot of good work for sorcery. So if you go down here to the let's see, text channels, right? And then down here I have like all these auctions that I run over the community group and through the Sorcery Discord. We currently have one going for the Murder of Crows Curio card. I'll show that later from Mikhail Nagy-Paul. That's currently at $500 and it ends at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. We do original paintings, all kinds of things. A lot of fun stuff going on in here. But if you go to the regular text channels, sample pack break. Here's 5, 6, and 7. We're doing sample pack break 6 right now. That's sold out. And then sample pack break 7 will be the next one. So I just announced that this morning. 5 of the 15 packs are sold, so there's 10 left. And you just go into here to the Discord and just like comment here if you want to slot in the next break, or you could DM me if you want to be private. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to put your name on a wheel. You know, here's the wheel of names, right? So we're going to spin, we're going to see your name, but you could DM me or you could just comment here of how many packs you want, and we'll do this again. And we'll keep doing it until we exhaust the supply all around the world and open every single pack. Or as much as we can. You know, it's a lot of fun, and these cards have a lot of awesome historical significance. So if you go to Sample Pack Break 7, I'm not going to get into all the details, but here if you click on this link, I have this very detailed article about sample cards and their provenance. There's Eric and Nick, the first time Nick pitched the game to Eric, or at least the how it evolved to a grid-based concept after Eric had been dabbling in a more conventional type gameplay approach before meeting Nick. And then there's some details here about how many sample packs are out there in the wild that we're aware of, and yada, 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 right? So a lot of good data there. And then also in this Sample Pack Break 7 orders channel, I linked this complete guide to sample cards. This is a video that's on Collector Arthouse YouTube channel, so you guys can find it. But if you just join the Discord and go to this link, you should. This is a video worth watching because I showed like a lot of sample cards here. I guess like, what was it? Even before the Kickstarter, and this article explains, and the video does too, like where these cards came from, these sample cards, before they were distributed as part of the higher end Kickstarter tiers. I auctioned like a ton of those, hundreds, I think. So, hey, Matthias, how you doing, man? So like a lot of those are out there. I had a big stack of them here in the video, and you can see like all the different sample cards. They're very interesting because there was a lot of nuances and change with the card title. The artwork was like the only constant, really. Some of these like haven't evolved a lot, but a lot of them, the title changed, the type line text changed, the game mechanic, the flavor text, casting cost, everything you can imagine. So that's what makes them very interesting. And they are one of the most rare collectibles in Sorcery. So they're the most historic and some of the most rare items. You could argue like maybe, I don't know, we don't know the total pop of some of these promo cards and things. We know Relentless Crowd has 100. But these sample cards could be on the order of like single digit pop. We've only discovered one Philosopher Stone as a sample card. That was the highest ever Sorcery sale at $16,500 through the auctions. There were 2 Predestination cards, which was the name of the card for Kythera Mechanism in the pre-alpha sample card era. And, you know, like a couple copies of Spear of Destiny. That was a real big one that I recall. All the uniques and elites are super rare. Anyway, watch the video. You get into the details there. I won't belabor it. You got the Wheel of Names. Let me, let's see. Let's pull this down for a moment. Go to the overhead cam and get into, for those of you here for the first time, like how this process works. All right, so I have the pre-labeled top loaders. So I open the pack, sleeve up all the, do I have 15? It's probably 15 penny sleeves in here. I got more packs. No need to panic. So I got, sleeve those up, right? I'm going to open the pack. I'm going to sleeve those up right away, top load them, mix them up at random, then spin the wheel, and then we'll have random upon random. All right, so here again, these packs here are from the Avatar of the Realm pledge tier, which was the top pledge tier for the Kickstarter last March, or was it this March? Was it? March of 2023. It was this year. It feels like it was decades ago. So these ones have this little sticker here, and I can zoom a little bit, get past my crossbar. They have the sticker on the back, right? These packs, it seems that these packs that came to the U.S. from the Avatar of the Realm tier, the Collector tier had 4. So Avatar of the Realm tier, top pledge tier, 12 packs. Collector tier, 24 people, 4 packs each. And then there was, let me check my article. Shit, I think it was 100, right? So there was, 100 early bird pledge tiers, and they got 1 pack per pledge, okay? And they got, I think it was 1 case and 1 sample pack. So that's where these come from. The sticker on the back of the pack indicates they're from the U.S., or at least, you know, that's what I received from the Avatar of the Realm pledge. And then what I found from the packs I'm acquiring from Europe, and they happen to be Germany in both cases, they have the same sticker. And I have some coming from the UK. So we're going to test random theory and see if we get different results from different geographic regions, like people are saying for the booster boxes. But the sticker is on the front of these, and this is the one we're going to open today. We had good luck with those last week, so let's keep that going and see if the trend continues. All right, so what we'll do is open the pack, and again, I'll try. And these are like, these packs are oversized, right? So there's a lot of give here in the top. In the alpha, that's one way to know that they're sample packs in a way too, right? There's like, Eric was like so, what's the word? Meticulous, anal, specific about making everything totally perfect that I think he reduced the pack size on the alpha packs and the beta packs to make it fit more to form of the cards. There's less give. When you can't like shimmy them back and forth. I don't know if you guys can get an appreciation for this, but there's probably like a centimeter of excess between the top of the cards and the lip of the pack. So there's some extra room in these. In the alpha and beta packs, it's very tight. And these are like mega glued together, so they're very hard to open without using the tear strip. So I always try and give up. Oh wait, actually this one's coming. Okay, we're gonna have some luck here. I think I broke the seal. Because these are the packs themselves are so rare, it'd be really nice to keep some of these in pretty nice condition. I know some people like to encapsulate these as kind of like a historical collectible. Look at that. Actually working out today. This morning for me. It's 11:18 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. All right. So I got that open. Didn't have to use the tear strip. The other thing is these actually have a tear strip, whereas on the alpha and beta packs, they did not. So let me just make sure I get to the edge. These are not in pristine condition. I think it was before they upgraded the equipment at the factory. So they tend to have, like, you could tell there's like a little bit of edging sometimes. Sometimes a little bit of surface. This one has like a little surface blemish. They're sample packs. They're test packs. The fundamental point of those is to test the print quality from the factory. So these were printed from the Chinese factory. The company announced that they upgraded the equipment. They invested in the equipment in the factory and helped fund an upgrade that really refined and improved the machinery that was used for the alpha cut. So we see that the quality for alpha is very nice and doesn't have as many issues. Of course, you always have some imperfections like roller lines and smudge butcher. If you guys have been in the community for a while, it's kind of interesting because there was these certain cards that had like these smudges in the lower right. I want to say one of the core cards had that. I forget off the cuff, but if you're in the Sorcery Contest Realm community Facebook group or Collector Arthouse Discord, we documented all of these. I shared pictures and talked about this, but there was like this discoloration smudge in the lower right-hand corner of the card. So I made a joke that it was done by the smudge butcher. And I think that was actually, so I think that was like a print file issue. It was probably like, you know, prepared digitally and then when printed, because it was uniform throughout all the prints of those particular cards. And I think that was resolved in beta, we came to find out. And what's very interesting is I, as an avatar of the Realm pledge backer, I have a full set of uncut sheets, foil uncut sheets, foil and full art. I'll have to show those on the channel someday. It's kind of hard because they're so large. It's hard to fit under the overhead cam. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. But I have a set of those, and then I actually ended up acquiring recently not a full set, but 9 of the 11 non-foil uncut sheets. So I have most of those as well. I don't have the 2 uniques with the Philo Stone, and then there's like a unique uncut sheet with the Atlas sights. I do not have those 2, but I have all the others. I actually just traded 1 for a Curio. So I actually have 8 left. But looking at those sheets, when I looked at the foil uncut sheets, they did not have the smudge butcher defect, so to speak, or file error. So I think they did not have that. I got to double check that because I remember being surprised and said, like, how could the uncut sheets not have that if those were true to print? But then they did have that with the cards in the pack. It doesn't really make sense unless the uncut sheets that were made for the pledge tiers were perhaps printed at a different time and perhaps different process or before the equipment upgrade or whatever the case may be. So anyway, let's take a look here, guys. We're going to shuffle them up. Yeah, you're right. Ruby core foil. Those had the smudge. I'm starting to love Eric's Perfection. I know Perfection slows things down, but these cards will live forever. I'd rather have higher quality and more perfection over speed to market. Yeah, the quality is really great. For alpha in particular, I love the color values. I know for beta, they made some adjustments and actually made it higher quality, but the color hues, color saturation is a little different than what you see in alpha. It's noticeable on some cards, perhaps more than others. Some people love it, other people like the alpha better, but whatever. I mean, they're both really great. The card stock is the same, and that's very nice. I think the print quality is comparable. You still see, you know, like you see with any card game, you see cards with, I wonder if I should do this differently. I try to like shuffle them up pretty good so we don't get all of the exceptionals. Yeah, let me, I don't know if I'm doing this in a smart way, but I don't want to open like the elite unique slot and all the exceptionals bang, bang, bang together. The true randomization is a lot of fun. So you see, like I shuffle those pretty well, and then we'll spin the wheel. But this is just like the mainstream alpha and beta packs. There's 15 cards in the pack. There's 3 exceptional slots, 1 slot for unique or elite, and then there's 11 ordinary slots. Typically, right? So there's been a couple anomalous situations. One of the packs that Red Zone Rogue opened before the game was released, he received 12 sample packs from the company to kind of showcase on his channel. and he only had 14 cards in one of those packs. And now, beyond that, I had one incident in a break where there was 15 cards. And let's make sure there's 15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so there's 15. There's always 15 cards in my experience. The Red Zone Rogue pack, it only had 14. That was the first time I've ever seen that. But there's been one incident that I had on the channel where there was no elite or unique in the pack. There was like, I forget if it was an extra, exceptional, or an ordinary, but that was a strange anomaly. And someone, at least one or two other people in the community reported to me after that they also experienced that. So that is a possibility. However, there are absolutely amazing ordinaries and exceptionals that you can hit in these packs. There's a lot of artwork that was not used for alpha, or at least like a handful, at least, that we've discovered. There is the some of the counter spells, also some of the uniques, cards that were changed to unique in alpha show up as lower level rarities, ordinaries, or exceptional, or elite in these sample packs. So there's a lot of potential for some big time bangers at all slot rarities. When you buy into the sample pack, one thing to know is that everything is completely randomized. It's like a standard fixed pricing per slot, right? And I do offer discounts for Patreon supporters typically, but otherwise it's the same price. Also sometimes discounted if you buy more than one slot, but it's completely random. So at that same price, everybody has an equal chance at at any rarity slot, right? And as I was going through, I was noticing, so I was talking about how these aren't always perfectly pristine. See, this one here has a little bit of discoloration. I was just making sure that wasn't dust on the sleeve itself, but there's like a little, you could kind of see, it's hard to see, but there's like a little bit of smudge right there as part of the printing manufacturing. And notice here, guys, there's only one Atlas card, right? So the Atlas site cards also tend to be pretty rare in these sample packs. I think typically I've seen none in some cases. There's usually on average, I would say at least one, and then oftentimes you might find 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 at the most. I did a video that documented 12 packs that Red Zone Rogue opened on his channel, and I think I also either did an article or a video about a full booster box that was given to Team Covenant that they opened. And I broke down the pack in a spreadsheet. I think Vincent in the community helped me catalog this. Maybe Sean too, I forget. A couple of guys graciously watched those videos and helped curate that information. But we broke down all of the polls from each of those packs, and we found some trend data about, on average, like how many Atlas cards there are, how many spell book cards there are, and the rarity distribution. So that was pretty interesting, fascinating, fun. All right, so I shuffled the hell out of those. Dylan Macco, what's up, man? Dylan's a great artist here, trying to break into sorcery. Hopefully he gets that opportunity. Met him at IX. Great guy. We got Anto Taylor. I think, Anthony, you just got you won the beta No Country Left Behind beta booster box. So I think that was just delivered to you in the past few days. And I got to give you the dust code. Don't let me forget. I will do that. All right, so guys, we got to go to the wheel. All right, load it up. Let's get this popping. There we go. All right, over to the wheel of names. Wheel of random names. 15 slots. However, let's see. Everybody except 2 people have more than 1 slot, so it's all documented. We got Mill2Med with 2, Sir Chicken with 2, Packetis with 2, User 17. These are all Discord names. User 17. One time I ran an auction, and someone tried to call me out on my Facebook community group. It was like, what's going on with these auctions? We got guys named User 17 bidding. So, there's some, I think he was, I don't know if he was joking or there's some people that can be toxic and like to talk shit and slander on the social medias. But there is a guy named User 17, and he's in my Patreon. He's an awesome guy. But it's a real person. And he's got 3 slots. Capricos, Man of Lang, Bitter Cardboard for 2, and Skemp for 2. All right, so those are the 15. We're going to shuffle up the list. Make this, you probably hear the clicking. See the names running wild on the wheel. and I'm going to spin the wheel, and we'll get into it. So we spin the wheel, we flip the top card, we sleeve it up, and we just keep rolling until we get through it. So I'll try to comment, let you know what I know about some of these hits. All right, first spin. I hope this, I'm trusting you guys on this audio, man. I hope it's good. Last time I had no idea it was jacked up. Sir Chicken. So Sir Chicken's got 2 in the slots. Let me find his top loaders. His label maker's on point. And the text is larger, too. It's very grandfather friendly. I'm not one of those yet, but all of our days are numbered. Sir Chicken. All right, so we remove him from the wheel. His first name. We got 2. Audio is 100, says Mildamed. All right, so we're going to pull this down. All right, guys. Sir Chicken. First card right off the top. Let me see. Am I at max zoom? All right, not bad. Here we go. Autofocus. And Lightning Bolt. Asi Haikala. All right, so I always look at the artist name, make sure there were some weird issues in early days of the print file. I think I can, after the break, I can show you guys some examples about how there were issues with the print file, and sometimes the card is different. Now, Lightning Bolt, I know the casting cost changed on this in the early days in the sample card test pack era. You had that 0 mana cost. You had Ted picked up on it right away. So that was really cool. It's an ordinary rarity. The company did like a very nice article. I think it was Rafa Novellino. He's one of the early developers, one of the first hired by the company to help develop and test the game. And he worked on a rule book early on, so he's done a lot of great stuff for this game. But he wrote a very nice article about the evolution of this card and why and how they changed the casting cost to make it more meta-friendly or appropriate. So that's a beautiful artwork. This is actually possibly, it's always hard to pick a favorite artwork from an artist. And Asi's done a lot of great stuff. But that one is probably one of my tops from him. So congratulations on that one, Sir Chicken. Sir Chicken. And thanks for joining my Patreon recently. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, we got company? Shit. It's warm outside. I think the kids are outside. Sir Chicken again. Oh, my God. What are the odds? Double chicken right out of the gate. All right, so Sir Chicken. I hear things, guys. Sir Chicken exits early. All right, remove that. Switcheroo. Sir Chicken was near the bottom of the stack. I think it's just a wife lurking. All right, Sir Chicken off the top. We got another spellbook card. Again, there's only one Atlas that we saw in here. Tough Turtles. Come on, focus in. There we go. Tough Turtles. I think I got too much stuff in the background. So another nice artwork. This is a very creative and interesting one. What I like about this is from Matt Thames, right? And Matt did the 3 river lands Atlas sites. So this is actually a really beautiful, underappreciated work of art, I feel, because there's a lot going on in the composition. Unfortunately, this text box kind of covers it up. I wish I had a copy handy in full art, but you got this kind of like pond that the Tough Turtle is lurking in. But the back is kind of reminiscent of one of the basic Atlas site lands, the rivers, that Matt did very nicely. And Marta Molina also did a set of rivers too that I'm speculating may show up in revised. Iron Skin. Did Iron Skin mechanic make it into the final alpha? I don't recall if it did or how that worked. I have played the game, I know some like to hate on the collectors, but I have played the game. I just have not played it a lot to remember if that mechanic is still in the game. All right, back to the wheel. Iron Skin. It's not in? Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, so there you go. That's like one of the interesting wrinkles. Even the game mechanic has changed in some cases. Miltu Med had 2 packs. This is his first. I did say revised set, but that is unconfirmed. I think it's unconfirmed. So don't go too wild. The company had mentioned that a while back. That is something they were thinking about. We said Milda Med, right? Let me try don't get too distracted here. The company had talked about potentially wanting to do a revised set. So we expect, alpha and beta are out. And then people are speculating, like, when is the Ed Beard Jr. mini set going to be ready? Will it be before Arthurian Legends or after? I think they want to get Arthurian Legends out there as soon as possible, and then we will see the mini set to bridge to whatever comes next. Maybe Revise will be printed to supplement the market for those newcomers that did not get into Alpha and Beta. Once supply dries up and if price appreciates, a Revise set would make sense in my opinion. But anyway, let me get to the break and then we can talk about those topics later. So it's not confirmed. All right. Ooh, Stone Gaze Gorgon. So this is the elite. This will be the highest rarity hit in the pack. Severin Pinu, one of the great artists of sorcery, did the Philosopher's Stone, the Kythera Mechanism. Sleep is a beautiful artwork. There's several that she did that were actually not used in Alpha yet that I really hope we see either in Arthurian Legends or maybe as an alternate art and revised if there is a revised. But the Stone Gaze Gorgons is really awesome artwork. Adjacent minions are petrified. They lose all abilities and can't fight or move. Elite mythics gaze longingly from this vantage. The Stone Gaze Gorgons. 7 casting costs. Yeah, did that change in Alpha? You guys that are grinding out the game can chime in chat. It's too tricky. I could pull up the website, but I don't want to have to jump around too much. I want to keep this rolling. We can compare change, but you guys know that have been playing a lot right off the bat what's coming on. All right, user 17. So this will be his first of 3. User 17. I think he was in on the last one as well. So he is acquiring quite a collection here. User 17. Oh, we're coming up on the Atlas. So we do have more to look forward to. And again, there could be amazing hits in the ordinary and exceptional still, even though we hit the elite. Blood Ravens. Beautiful Paradolia effect from Mikhail Nagy-Paul. When I had him on for the beta showcase, he said he's going to be doing more concepts like this. But this is a super cool, beautiful work of art. Someone actually commissioned him, and we worked out with the customer to do another painting rendition of this. It came out absolutely amazing. This is incredible artwork. And let me see here. I forget if that's part of the art, but there's this little line right here. I think that's actually part of the painting. It makes it almost look like a scratch, but you have all this hair around the raven's eye, and then the raven soaring in the eye of this. And black and red, as we say, always works. This looks really cool. A cruel conspiracy of ordinary beasts. The Blood Ravens. Nice. Yeah, the bird in the eye is amazing. I love Cloud Spirit as well, too. I thought that was super creative and cool. All right. And I have 6 more sample cards, by the way. 6 more sample cards en route from Mikhail. He asked me if I wanted to see it ahead of time. I said, hell no, man. Surprise me. I love when those show up. His sample cards are incredible. He's famous and infamous for the frogs, the sexual frogs, but he's so much more than that. He can do absolutely anything. Pacatus, 1 of 2. And he has done everything. He has beautiful landscapes. I love his sinkhole renditions. He did a couple magic homages. That Black Lotus with the Lotus Pool was incredible. And then we had the Frog of Will, which is a homage to Therese Nielsen's Force of Will legendary magic card. That painting is currently up for auction, not through me. By the way, someone contacted me and asked me if I sold magic card. I don't do that. I am all sorcery all the time, so I only sell the sorcery paintings. All right, Pacatus, here we go. Drown by Alan Pollock. All right, so the artist's name is correct. It's a 3 casting cost, 1 threshold. Ordinary magic of watery descent. In the darkening deep they dreamed is the flavor text. Very nice artwork. I actually considered buying this one from Alan at one point, but the wife thought it was a little too dark to go up on our walls. So I passed on that one, but he does really great work. Yeah, Sinkhole is great. That is correct. I love Sinkhole. All right, Another spin. We're not even halfway through. What will we find? I think the cores were called gems at this time, and those show up as, if I'm not mistaken, an exceptional rarity. Let me see here, guys. Let me show you something real quick. Go to Collector Arthouse. I know TG just landed. No, not Collector Arthouse. Go to Discord. He just landed one of these. And actually, I have it. I actually probably have it on Collector Arthouse in the archives too. But in the sample pack. All right, so in the Collector Arthouse Discord, where did he put this? He just showed this last night. All right, sample Sorcery Showcase. Right, this is where everyone's showing off their hits. The pink binder, and he showed. I know he showed. So he just acquired some amazing paintings. This is one from Mikhail, one of the artists proofs. Here we go. Water Ward Gem, an exceptional relic. So this is a, yeah, exceptional. Thanks, Milton Med. Beat me to it. So you can find those as an exceptional in the sample pack, and see it's called Water Ward Gem. So the name Gem was changed to cores. So pretty interesting piece of history. Melissa Benson. All right. Packatus. Did I just roll Packatus? I did, right? Now I got myself all hosed up. Packatus with his second. So we just hit him twice, right? And then we're going to have, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pulled. There should be 10 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so Packatus, he was the one, he participated in last break and hit the, was it the Ordinary Counterspell? Huge. Huge hit, because that artwork is a Francesca Berald, who's a really, really popular artist and extremely talented artist. And that card was a card that was not in alpha. So it's got pretty rich history on that one. And now Packatus gets lucky again with the only Atlas card in the pack. So here we go. The Atlas site is one of the basic lands. Awesome. So last time we hit the tower. This time we hit the arid desert. I think in these sample packs, you know, from what I've seen from evidence, from all the breaks I've done, from the others I've observed on YouTube that have been recorded and published, and also just people in the community sharing what they found. There are the basic lands, I think all 9 of them, or no, 12 of them from the 4 different elements are in sample pack form. And then there are several other Atlas site cards, but not the full set. Like when the sample cards were printed, I speculate there was maybe 200 some different variants of cards that were part of the test print run at that time, not the full 403 that we found in alpha. So, you know, there's only so many you can get, but all the basic lands are pretty special because they're highly meta relevant. So you're going to see those like in every deck that play those land types, and those are a popular collectible. So congrats to Packatus. All right. Who's it going to be? User 17. Boom. Just ticks in. User 17 with his second of 3. All right. So we take one of his entries off the wheel. Yep. Got 2 left. See what we get here. I wish I knew how to play some background music. That would be slick, but they're always slapping me with copyright threats. Even when I play that royalty free, it's a problem for old Sergi. Is Sergi still around at Google? Sergi and that other freaking guy? Everything I do is a problem for these guys. Spellbook. Unland Eel. Beautiful. We were just talking about Francesca Berald. Gorgeous artwork. And is this still an ordinary in the alpha set? For some reason, I was thinking that's an exceptional. Let me look it up on the Collector Arthouse website. Francesca Berald. And let's see. Unland Eel is an exceptional. How about that recall, baby? Still got it. All right, hang on a second. I think I got a... let me see here. All right. Unland Eel, guys. What an opportune moment to show one of the artist proof cards, the first ever Unland Eel done by Francesca Berald. Exceptional rarity. Really cool signature by Francesca on the front. The Unland Eel in the pot of gold at the bottom of the sea. Right, so 11 of 25. She's keeping the first 10 and not offering those for sale. But we will be offering this one, I don't know, maybe after the new year, sometime in the next month or two, it'll be coming. But I just remembered I had this one. Beautiful artwork by Francesca. It's amazing, amazing artist. Very nice. So we got it in sample card form. You'll probably never see this again in any one place where you have the sample, unless, who is this? User 17, maybe he'll win the auction on this one when it comes to show. So we got Unland Eel, and let's check the differences. Here, now we can compare between alpha. All right, so casting cost the same, power level the same, rarity changed from ordinary to exceptional. You see it had a submerge and waterbound mechanic before. I think waterbound was eliminated, and we just have submerge, right? And then also, let's see what the mechanic says. This eel, in sample card form, this eel gains +2 power when attacking as it surfaces. And now in alpha, whenever an unland eel submerges, it may drag another minion down with it. All right? So here you see the differences between sample card and alpha card. You have the copyright symbol on the sample, where my left thumb is here, on the sample cards. And then you went to the alpha symbol. See if I get close enough. You kind of see there. There you go. It's still, yeah, and then I lose focus when it's too close. Come on, baby. So the alpha symbol replaced the copyright symbol, and there you have it. Artist proof and sample card. Really cool. All right, set that aside. User 17, congratulations. This is really an impressive artwork. You got to really look at this in person. I never actually noticed him losing the sword here from his hand as he's being attacked by the eel, wrapped in the eel's tail as they do, mouth agape, about to pull his face down. So this eel gains +2 power when attacking as it surfaces. So the eel surfaces, gains +2 from going after this guy, but they actually tighten the correlation of the mechanic. You see, whenever unland eel submerges, it may drag another minion down with it. So that is this is where we see a lot of change in alpha. They really made the typeline text and the mechanic really tightly correlate with the artistic concept, right? So in this case, the card was changed to have an effect where it drags a minion down. So the effect, the eel corrals this guy and drags him underwater. Really awesome. And a lot more directly correlative to the mechanic for the alpha debut. Man, that artwork is striking. I wonder if she still has that painting. You guys are going to make me buy more paintings. All right, let's get serious here. Back to the wheel. Where are we at? This is on the Collector Arthouse website where I was looking up the card. All right, let's do a sanity check. We got 8 entries left. Should have 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. I didn't blow this thing yet. Spin of the wheel. The drink of the bottle. Cardboard. Bitter cardboard. Bitter cardboard. 1 of 2. All right, let's see. I guess we won't be finding Predestination. That's a unique, or Phyla Stone today. But I think we still have some exceptionals yet to be covered, so there's still huge potential. And of course, there's also incredible ordinaries that can be found in sample packs. My bad, hang on a second. There we go. All right. Bitter cardboard. First of 2 from the pack. Oh! 2 packs in a row. Holy shit. Ordinary counterspell. One of the greatest, probably the greatest possible hit you can have from the ordinary slot. No kidding. Ordinary Counterspell is absolutely an incredible hit. This is an amazing artwork. I'm going to get you guys a picture of this painting. The guy, so I auctioned last night the Grapple Shot original painting. Sold for $7,000. Great sale. Amazing to see the artist's artwork really valued. You know, that's a significant premium from where Alan Pollock was selling his pieces just a year ago. So it's great for the artists to get their due recognition, to see their work valued, and the awareness and the connection that the fans are making to the artist is really special in Sorcery. It's really exciting, really fun. We love their work, and it's great to see the community valuing this artwork and paying fair value for it. So that's sold for $7,000. The point I was getting at is the owner of that painting also owns this painting, and he doesn't want to sell it right now, but he's like a big collector. Overseas, really private, personal guy. He doesn't do a lot of social media and stuff. So he reached out to me and said, hey, maybe I actually helped him sell some alpha cases. But he also started telling me about the paintings that he owns. And he has some really exciting ones. He has this one in like the most epic frame I've ever seen on a Sorcery painting, besides maybe King of the Realm, which is incredible. But this painting looks absolutely amazing. He has his sick frame on this. I think he's like a little sick right now, so once he starts feeling better, he's going to get a picture of that, and I'll share it on the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group and the Collector Arthouse Discord. But the Ordinary Counterspell, to my knowledge, the second only discovered, and ironically, in sample pack break number 6 just last weekend, I pulled one of these, and now here we are again. I pulled another one, and there's only so many of these in the world, guys. Bitter Cardboard, that is an absolute epic monster hit. The best you can possibly do, arguably, in the Ordinary slot. That is really exciting. That just raised the energy level a little bit. Now we're getting it. I don't know if I'm caffeinated enough today. What am I doing here? There we go. So let's give it a spin. Man, that kind of got me a little flustered there. I wasn't expecting to hit another Ordinary Counterspell in this pack, let alone ever. Bitter Cardboard again. Wow, man. 2 Ordinary Counterspells. Ordinary Counterspell. And I had that early playtest card. We could talk about that later. So you're coming off the board, my guy. There you go. 2 down. 2 of 2. What will we find next for Bitter Cardboard? Did I sleeve that? Yeah, sleeve that right. All right. Right off the top. Still a few exceptionals to go, I think. At least one. All right. Focus. And Unravel. Another beautiful card from Severin Pinu, a favorite artist of many. One of the first artists I started working with in Sorcery. I want to say it was, between Vincent Severin and Elvira Shakarova. I also work with Elvira Palakowska to help her with her artist proofs. But here we go. Unravel. Ordinary. All right, so it's still an Ordinary. I'm looking on my website here. So the Unravel so here's the changes, right? So we have a one casting cost, 1 threshold is actually 2 and 1. And interesting, did it change from a water card to an earth card? Wow. I'm shocked that this was a water card before. So in sample card form, that is a significant difference because this just like screams earth. When you look at the, it's like literally a skeleton coming out of the earth. So that is like a wild, like big time change on this card. It properly credits Severin, so I'm happy to see that. It says, so on the sample card, Ordinary Magic of Rot and Rebirth. On the alpha card, Ordinary Magic of Calm Repose. So the mechanic in sample card era, destroy target relic or undead minion, and that changed to destroy all artifacts and undead minions at a location up to 2 steps away. So it had some range aspect to it, introduced into alpha. So that is, wow. Bitter Cardboard, man. Those are 2 bangers. You hit ordinaries, but the beauty of sample cards is the rarity really, in my opinion, doesn't matter that much. There's likely more higher pop of some of these ordinaries, but the novelty and nuance of some of the ordinaries is incredible, being as though they're not in alpha, some of them. And this is a wild amount of change for this card, going from water to earth. There's not a lot of examples of that. So you are fishing with dynamite, man. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go. Scamp. Scamp is the man. Real nice guy. He went to the Frazetta Museum, sent me a couple Frazetta books. Very generous of him to do so. He surprised me with that, and I am appreciative. All right, so Scamp. Those Frazetta books are nice, man. The art in those. All right, so still a couple exceptionals to go. Let this guy autofocus. Wow, True Sight crossbow. This might be the first time I've seen this in sample card form. Let me go to the Benson site and see. This is kind of fun to look at how this changed for alpha. I know you guys can't see it on the screen, but it's kind of better to see the card and feature the card as I tell the story. So for True Sight crossbow, the 3 casting cost changed to 2. It's still an exceptional. So the sample card is an exceptional relic that always strikes true. On the alpha card, it's an exceptional weapon with an all-seeing eye. All right? And then the mechanic, the bearer of this crossbow is +1 range and has detection wherever it can attack. On alpha, it says bearer has ranged and can target stealth units. Melissa Benson, beautiful artwork, always, really nice. I can't recall seeing this in sample pack form. That is a pretty hot exceptional. You know, sometimes people think elites and uniques for sample cards are way more rare than exceptional, but if you think about it, only 3 exceptional cards per pack, 244 total packs in the across the Kickstarter pledges, plus, you know, some that were handed out to influencers, early adopters, people that helped support the game in the early days. It's not a lot of them out there. 3 per pack times a few hundred packs out there in the wild. It's not a lot, man. Pop of like 1,000-ish total for all exceptionals. When you break them down to individual exceptionals, it could be single digits. It's likely on the order of like Curio rarity, really. So any exceptional is really great. All right, back to the wheel. 5 left. Nice one for Scamp. He's got another one on the wheel, and is he going to hit it right now? Yes. All right. So second of 2. Drop him off the wheel. Drop the wheel off the screen. Switcheroo. All right, man. Scamp number 2. Right off the top. Focus in. Wow. Vasily. Poisonous Dagger. Oh, my God. This is a great artwork. I was surprised that this did not land as an elite or exceptional because it's just really epic looking, kind of like the, I don't know, the color tones always remind me of the Spear of Destiny. Of course, it's like very different stylistically. Vasily has a very, very unique style. All of his work is super popular. I know all the other artists really respect his work and his style. Really fascinating guy, Russian artist. Poisonous Dagger. The cost changed from 1 to 2. A lot of these sample cards were pretty OP at very low casting costs. So that was changed. The name was the same. An exceptional relic of virulent venom. An exceptional weapon of virulent venom. So that's a subtle change there. So big mechanic change here. It says Genesis, the bearer of this dagger has lethal until end of turn. Bearer also has +1. In the alpha version, bearer has lethal is the only effect. And okay, so that is persistent. You don't lose it after the turn. So in a way, it became more powerful for alpha. Costs a little more to cast. So you don't get the +1 power, but it looks like whoever carries this weapon has lethal. It persists. So that's actually that's pretty nasty weapon. There are people playing with this card? That seems pretty damn strong. Man, I wish that artwork was available too. It's hard to get a Vasily piece. I know the Sling Pixies was included in the collector tier. However, that was resold. I wish I kind of jumped on that one. The guy that resold it likes to slander and trash me constantly. So I'm not going to pay money to people like that. But Yeah, I wish I owned it, man. It's a freaking awesome. It's an awesome artwork. All right, 4 left. Let's go. The Poisonous Dagger. Beautiful. Right on the bubble. User 17. Last of the pack for you, my man. All right, 1 exceptional left. Bitter Cardboards keeping score. That's beautiful. I love how we hit the Elite Unique slot early. It was an Elite. But we had nice distribution of these exceptionals. So it looks like that might come down right to the wire. All right, user 17. Pulling it down. Spellbook card off the top. Here we go. Focus in, baby. Come on. Get there. Get it. Yeah. All right. Sling Pixies. I was just talking about this, and man, what an epic, amazing artwork this is. I cannot believe someone got this. I actually know who got it originally. He sold it. He's a good guy. The first guy that sold it, solid guy. The second guy that somehow got it, he's not a fan of this guy. I'll say that much. And then he resold it. And then someone else bought it. So good for you, whoever this landed to. It sounds like it finally landed in a passionate sorcery fan and collector's hands. And this is a beautiful, beautiful artwork. And it's amazing to own this as a sample card. Again, one of the exciting ordinaries. Man, it's just really nice. I just want to look at it. I just want to keep looking at it. It looks really nice under this lighting. It actually looks better under the camera than it does in my hand here. It looks a little more vibrant, the purples. And the original is gorgeous, too. You guys got to check that out. I probably have it on my full art page. But you hit two Vasilis back to back. Unbelievable. The first one went to Scamp. This one's user 17. And, oh, excuse me. All right, so the casting cost and power level stays the same. It's actually an exceptional now in alpha. So it wasn't ordinary as a sample card. It became an exceptional. So cool change right there. And it says ordinary mythics flutter forth. The alpha says exceptional fairies flitter, hither, and tither. The exceptional fairies flitter, hither, and thither. Thither or tither? I guess it's tither. But there's an extra H in there lurking. All right, so the sample, airborne ranged +1, and the alpha card, airborne ranged. The mechanic, these pixies are immune to minions with power 4 or greater, and the sling pixies in alpha takes no damage from units with 4 or more power. Okay, so similar effect. User 17, great hit, man. Congrats, and thank you for participating with 3 packs. You are the MVP of this pack slot, of this break, helping us get it sold, and being able to do this only 1 week later from the last one. You know, you're not going to see a lot of sample packs broken on camera because they simply don't exist out there. I probably am the largest holder of, I might be the largest holder of sample packs in the world. I know there's like 3 other Avatar of the Realm tiers, and I opened some of mine, but I keep buying more. So I won't be the last man standing in the end because I love doing these breaks. It's a lot of fun. I want to discover what is in these packs. So I appreciate you guys participating. And, you know, sample pack break number 7 is open for orders. There's 10 left. If anyone is interested, just join the Collector Arthouse Discord. Or hit me up on anything. Mike Servati on Facebook. Man of Lang. Love that name. You can hit me up on the Collector Arthouse Discord in that channel or DMs or Facebook or whatever. Just find me and you can get in on the next one. All right. So here we go back to the overhead cam. We only have 3 left. Third to last. Here we go. Flood. Mikhail Nagy Paul. So that is our last. I think that's our last exceptional in the pack. Mikhail. I call him the hero we don't deserve. Extremely versatile artist that can and does do everything. And this flood card, man, his flood artist proof blew me away. A very sentimental piece. These 2 people they show in the sample card. Actually, I'm going to show it in a minute. Oh, shit. Is it on the... I'll find it. You guys got to see it. I did a video on it, like a video short. But there's a couple, friends, couple. I don't know if they're in a relationship or not. But they're in this window. They're saluting to the end of the world as this tidal wave just wipes them off the face of this earth. It's a beautiful concept. I love his creative ingenuity. All right, Flood. So 4 and 4 threshold on the sample pack. They reduce that to 4 and 2. An exceptional aura of apocal inundation is what it says now for alpha. Here it says an exceptional aura of severe overflow. That's actually pretty funny. Severe overflow. I like that. And then, like, I'm not reading this, guys. I have limits on how much reading I am willing to do. And that's where I draw the line. But what it says in the new one where they streamlined it, affected sites were flooded. Affected sites are flooded. They're water sites. All right. So the sites become water sites. Wow. This is a great artwork. And I think it's worth taking a minute here to find for you guys that epic, touching, artist-proof card by our guy, Mikhail Nagy-Paul. One of the great ones. All right, so Collector's Corner. We're at collectorarthouse.com. You go to Artist Proof Card Gallery in the subcategory, and this is all artist proof. This one was a giveaway, but otherwise they're all artist proof cards that have been sold or auctioned through Collector Arthouse media platforms. It's not fully updated. I got to circle. God, look how incredible all this artwork is. Marta Molina, man, stops you in your tracks. Unbelievable. Here we get into the Mikhails. There's Eric just chilling in front of a bullfrog. How about that one? There we go, baby. Look at the flood. Look at this. The world is ending. Can you see the card still? So there. Hang on a second, guys. Can I do a split screen? Where's my mouse? All right, here we go. Yeah, look. All right, look at this. They're in this building right here. You could tell, right, from the yellow. It's awesome. And then the artist proof here on the right. Let's go back to it. Keep this in mind. Keep that in the forefront of your cranium, right? This building, these people, saluting to the end of the world. Cheers. As the tidal wave, remember the tidal wave creeping up on the building? Wipes them off the face of the world and not a care in the world. Look how happy this woman is. It's like, what can you do? What can you do? This guy's smoking a pipe. What can you do? No big deal. Oh, my God. What a freaking genius this guy is. Unbelievable. All right, 2 left. Let me get my head back in the game. Back to the wheel. Spinaroo. Get the keyboard out of here. The keyboard's from like 1992. It's an ancient relic. All right. Mill to Med. Mill to Med. And we're going to end it with Capricos. All right, so remove you from the wheel. We always do the last spin, just in case the computer dies or something. Just to be a goofball. All right, so Mill to Med, here we go. All right. Root Spider. So we had a few Melissa Bensons in this pack. Very nice. People love the Root Spider. Mill to Med. Let's take a look at Melissa's Root Spider and see how this one evolved. So 3 and 2 for casting cost. People are a big fan of this artwork. It's really phenomenal too. Look at that. Look at all the beautiful color she has in her cards. All right, so this was an ordinary rarity. Let's go. All right, let's start from the top. 3 and 2. It's now 3 and 1 for casting cost. Power level changed from 3 to 2. So there's a change. It changed from ordinary rarity to exceptional and alpha. An ordinary beast with a trap of lace. And now it says an exceptional beast with a snare of silk. The burrowing mechanic retains. You see the left justified text. That was also changed in the alpha form for this particular card. And I noticed some cards are still left justified, some are centered. This one happened to be readjusted to centered. Another example of the meticulous attention to detail from Eric. And it says, all right, burrowing. If this spider is burrowed, minions on that site can't move away. And now in alpha, it says, while Root Spiders is burrowed, minions directly above it are disabled. All right, so the disabled mechanic is the change there. So a lot of interesting, cool history here as well. Per usual, let me show you what I was looking at there, guys. The Collector Arthouse website. This is your new Root Spider. Let's Blow that guy up. There it is. Ordinary to exceptional. The center justification of the text. The rarity change is the big one there. Some casting cost and power level change. But there you have it. Melissa Benson's beautiful root spider. Very nice. All right. There he goes. Watch him spin. Dizzy. Capricos. Water break. Man, my lips are all chapped up. Capricos. Ending with the Capricos. All right, so we can kill the wheel. Wheel's done. Last in pack, and then we'll show some cards and talk a little bit before we wrap this thing up. Why did I just do that in front of the microphone? All right, autofocus. Last card is Cauldron Crones by the great Drew Tucker. Now, a real beautiful, subtle piece here. When you first look at it, it just kind of looks like a blur of flame, right? But then you look a little closer and you start to appreciate the context and the detail in this piece. You have the two people lit up, potentially in flame or lit by the flames. What do you guys think? Are they actually in flames? Are they aflame? In front of the cauldron? They're the Cauldron Crones, right? And then this guy, there's a guy here, right? You see his hand, you see his leg. He's showing up to the scene. And he's like, what's going on? What happened at this campfire? Cauldron Crones, Ordinary Mortals. How did it get this out of control, guys? Who left these two alone? How did it get this bad? Cauldron Crones, Ordinary Mortals brewing with ill intent. Pure evil. Spellcaster. All right, so let's take a look at the site. Drew Tucker. How did it come to this? Says Drew Tucker as he embarks on the Crones. So there's still Ordinary Mortals. All right, well, we can do the split screen again, right? Hang on a second. No, wait. What did I do here? I gotta load that. Here we go. All right, let's do a. All right, that's fine. Cauldron Crones, 2 casting costs, changed to 3. Name stayed the same. Ordinary Mortals brewing with ill intent, that stayed the same. Spellcaster, but it has this additional Genesis effect. You may sacrifice another minion here to draw a spell. Oh, so it has card draw. But it killed. You see here, guys, they removed the flavor text. On the original sample card, you get this flavor text quote. This says, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. William Shakespeare, Song of the Witches. So maybe a copyright concern there? I'm not sure. But that is a cool quote, and it made it in print on the sample cards. Very nice. Congrats to Capricos on a beautiful Drew Tucker piece. I know Drew just sold his wicker mannequin, so congrats to Drew, if on the odd chance you see this video. And let's reflect on what we got here, and then we'll look at some other things and talk about whatever you guys would like. I probably have a little more. I'm getting blown up on Discord. I don't know if people are joining the Discord. Again, if you guys still watching, please like the video. Join us at Collector Arthouse Discord or the Sorcery Contest Realm Community Facebook group or the other groups. You saw I had like 10 groups there on Linktree. Love to have you on all those. All right, so we got the Cauldron Crones, the Root Spider, the Beautiful Flood, the amazing Vasily, Sling Pixies and Poisonous Dagger, another Benson, True Sight Crossbow, Unravel, amazing. We hit the Ordinary Counterspell 2 weeks, 2 packs in a row, both out of Germany. You know, random theory. I think if it shows up in time and if we sell out the pack, so sample pack number 7 is open for orders. There's 5 sold as of last check, unless someone bought in during this stream. There's 10 left to go. As soon as that sells out, that next one will get scheduled. Those packs are coming from the UK. If they get here in time, we'll use those. We can use one of my American packs, so to speak, from my pledge if we need to. But it'll be interesting to see what we get out of Germany versus what we get out of the UK. But another freaking Ordinary Counterspell and the beautiful Unland Eels from Francesca. It's cool. We got a couple from the artist. The one Atlas card in the pack is your Arid Desert. So basic lands are always bangers. Drown from Alan Pollock. The beautiful artwork, Blood Ravens from Mikhail Nagypal. We got a couple Severin, the Stonegaze Gorgons. And then the Tough Turtles, and our first hit was the Lightning Bolt from Aussie. All right, so I see you. I didn't know like it showed this. If you guys hit the like button, and oh, Dan, what's up, man? Yeah, Dan, I think was the 1,000th member of the Discord, so I just sent him an early playtest card and an A6 print signed by Severin for the Philosopher's Stone. So welcome, Dan. Thank you for joining the Collector Arthouse Discord, and a couple likes from John Philip Gack, and yeah, it only shows one for some reason. So, oh, okay, and Dan. Thanks again, Dan. All right, guys, thanks for liking the channel. That is the sample pack results. Beautiful. And we'll look at a few cards now if you guys want to hang out for a bit. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with me. Man, these sample cards are nice. Nice. All right, so set those aside, and let's see what we got here. Right now, let's talk about, you want to do Curios first? Now, let's just, let me come back to Curios. Spellcraft, right? So this will dovetail nicely into Curios. So the Spellcraft cards, I just found these like laying around recently, which are hilarious because these are very coveted like old historical relics from Sorcery. One of the names that was contemplated early on for Sorcery, Spellcraft. This is it, guys. So usually you see Sorcery Contested Realm here, and this preceded that several years ago. It's called Spellcraft. And most of them are on like legit cardstock, right? That I own. They were home printed, I believe, by Eric down in New Zealand, right? It's just a local print shop. This is obviously like well before the Chinese factory. So this isn't like a factory miscut. This was home printed. These particular set of 4 were just like regular paper. He probably did it at his printer, like at his house. And then the other ones were like at the local shop in New Zealand. And so I had these like in a separate area, I guess, in like one of my piles of stuff. And then I thought this was funny. I had these little like foot soldiers, you know? I love these artworks, by the way, too, by Andrea. But you have these little token Spellcraft foot soldiers. How cool is that, you know? Awesome. Got a handful of those. I'm going to slid those in there. So we got those. I got a bunch others. And actually, I think I'm going to show a few. So that's the Spellcraft. There was other games like Gridlord. I posted on the Sorcery Let me show you guys really quick. On the Facebook group, go back to the website. And if we go to let's go to Facebook. And if we go to the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group, 3,200 members, almost 3,200. Awesome. So yeah, there's Dan. There's the card I sent him, and he just hit a Philo Stone. Congrats again, Dan. Freaking amazing. So we got an auction going on right now for the Curio, Murder of Crows. I'll show that in a minute. But why I wanted to go here is because I posted the other day. Look at everybody showing their hits. I'm really proud of the culture in that group. It's a really fun time. Everybody's really positive and just loves Sword. There's me right now, live. So I multicast this on the community group. Oh, there's John, Matthias Frisk, one of the great artists of Sorcery, and John Rothrock. How you doing? So I multicast here and I multicast on Collector Arthouse YouTube, obviously. We got the beautiful Vincent painting. But a few days ago here, look at all the action on this site. So a lot of great engagement going on. It's really escalated after beta. So a lot of people loving the game, and you could kind of see it in the secondary market action and just the sell-through of beta. So here you go, the counterspell cycle. I'll show that here, the actual cards in a minute. But I put a cool post here a few days ago of the early names of Sorcery that were contemplated. What in the world is this meme? This guy's killing it with the memes. Pretty funny. Where the hell is that post, guys? There's Ed Bear Jr. Just closed a sale of those. Prints of those. Man, see, there's so many people commenting here. A lot of interesting stuff. Here we go. Well, this is one of them, right? So we had Gridlord, Spellcraft, of course, Sorcery Contested Realm is the final name that they settled on in the design of the card. And then Omnipotence, was something very early on. It was kind of like a joke, what they were calling the game in the very early days between Nick and Eric. What, I got some lag? All right, so going back, even before this post, did I skip right over it? They called the game Atlas, Avatar. Here we go. All right, so we had 3 options. This was like a survey that Eric did in early January 2021. So almost 3 years ago, they were contemplating the name Sorcery, A Realm at War. Now, pay close attention. This post alarmed people. Look, they got a lot of engagement on this post because everyone was like, oh, God, I got to go look for curios of every freaking card I've ever opened. Reached 822 people, 43 comments. So you got to look. Maybe there's a curio that says Sorcery, A Realm at War, with the sorcery title, so that would be a little more subtle. They considered calling the game Avatar, A Realm at War. And finally, Atlas, A Realm at War. And interesting on this point, in the early days of Sorcery, like when I first discovered the game, I don't know, 3 years ago now, something like that, I just went on a bender, like curating all the information, everything I could find about the artists, like researching the development history and the different artists that were contributing to this project. And on their socials, their Instagram and things like this, some of the artists were calling the game Project Atlas. And you can see why. Maybe it's because that was a name that Eric was throwing around at the time. Like, he hadn't settled on the name Sorcery, so as he was commissioning artists, he had to tell them something, right? So maybe he reaches out and he says, hey, I got this game, Project Atlas, or Atlas, A Realm at War. And, I thought it was a code name because they didn't want to reveal the name. But now I come to realize it probably just wasn't settled yet. Like, Sorcery wasn't a thing. It was just Atlas. So if you look at some of the their work in progress images that you find like on Instagram and their different socials like that, you find the word Atlas. And there is the old provenance of that, potentially, right? It kind of adds up. All right, so let me, so you don't see my Facebook notifications. It's always blowing up there. I'm going to go to Collector Arthouse Discord. But let's remove that and then again go back to the overhead cam. And let's see, what do we want to see here? I love that. I love that artist proof, man. King Tony, King of the Realm. Let's see. Any feel for how many of each curio exists? And Shadow Cloud speculates, I think about 30 alpha and 50 beta copies of each curio exist. I have zero evidence to support this claim. Just looking at how many have been pulled so far of each, it seems like a reasonable amount. Yeah, so I think like some of these cards, like Sophie from Cardboard Guide on her Discord channel does a really good job tracking the pops of these. People are always tagging her when they're discovering sorcery cards. So, and looking in that data, I think, some have been discovered on the order of like 20 copies. You'll see a lot are like 10 copies or less. It's interesting, like in alpha, I don't know that we'll ever have a good sense of that answer. There is 29,000 boxes printed, and they're just super rare, right? And now that boxes are like valued at $1,000 a pop, there's just far fewer people opening those. So there's the number that have been discovered, I think, is going to be quite stagnant for a while with less people opening additional boxes. I'll probably do some alpha box breaks sometime someday. I still have several cases of those. So I think that'll be fun to reinvigorate. We did some of those in the early days, but for the most part, there's going to be not a lot more open. So there won't be a lot of more people reporting new discoveries. So the curios that are out there in the wild are very rare, likely less to come to market beyond resales. So they're all like pretty special, the alpha curios. The beta, that's going to be a function of the print run too, right? And we don't know what that is. We don't know if it's a single print or if there'll be more. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. How many sample packs were created? Yeah, so Mill2 Med, if you go to that sample break number 7 channel and look at the link to my article on collectorarthouse.com, you'll find that information. Everything we know about sample cards and their speculated population based on data that we know to be public. Anyway, King of the Realm, number 3 of 25, artist proof by Tony Sudlow. One of my prized collectibles in the collection. Let's go to the early playtest cards, right? So one of the early developers, I reached out to him ages ago and was like, hey man, like I know you were playtesting with like there's home print to play cards. I know it's no big deal. They don't have like any real value, but I'd love to just have those cards. If you would send them to me, if you're gonna throw them out or something, just send them to me. As a collector and historian, I'd love to have those for my personal collection, just as kind of like a memoir or throwback time capsule to the special early days of Sorcery. It's a very fun time in the official Discord, which even preceded my Discord and my community Facebook group that I think I started. Was it January or February 7th or 8th? I think it was, but I forget if it was this year or last year, 2022. It had to be last year. Was it last? It had to be last year, I think. Anyway, this was the early days. It was a special time. So as he was like developing the game, he had these cards, and like did he just print it and he was playing with? I don't have any examples. So he was marking them up as he was experimenting with development change. So that's what these are. I just kind of cherry pick some really interesting ones. I got a couple copies of the Pudge Butcher. You see the rounding of the corners. I don't know if that was more like the print and play. I know like in the early days when they were doing these sample test prints and just the design of the card, they really played around with having more extreme curvature on the cards. And then you see like for the sample pack cards, you see it's quite different, right? It's a lot more, the angle's a lot more tighter. It's not that massive bend. So that's kind of interesting aspect of these. The Pudge, a lot of stuff is different because this was so early on in development. Here you have Book of Kells, and it looks like this was kind of circled as like something that was needed to be worked to revise that. And of course, Book of Kells is a Francesca Berald artwork that is not yet in Sorcery. It seems quite fitting potentially for Arthurian Legends, so I would expect maybe we see that soon. You got Eric's Curiosa and its original design concept. So the tier of the card to explore your collection, man, talking for hours really messes me up. All right, Eric's Curiosa. It was a unique relic, but the card, you do not tier it to search your collection. You summon it in a corner void, and when the Curiosa is picked up for the first time by an avatar, that avatar's owner draws 3 spells. This destroys the Curiosa. So you put it in the corner of the realm. When it's picked up, you get card draw 3, right? When the Curiosa is picked up for the first time by an avatar, so you want to strategically play that when your avatar is near a corner, because your opponent could grab it before you, right? So you make the movement, you grab, then you get to draw 3 spells, and then you destroy the card, right? Destroys the Curiosa. So I think early on, people are like, okay, the relic just kind of exits play at that point. But then they went all in on that, destroys the card, and you actually had to rip up the card to search your collection for any card in your collection. So that's a pretty iconic special card. That's really cool. The avatars, so the 4 Francesca, I don't want to spoil that one. The 4 Francesca, Severin Pinu, elemental avatars, super special in Sorcery. There you have it. So in the Avatar of the Realm top pledge, the original paintings, oil on canvas, from Severin were given out, right, to those folks that was part of the package. It was about $10,000 for the Avatar of the Realm pledge. I was fortunate enough to get this one. Beautiful Avatar of Fire. I've shown it here on the channel. I actually revealed that in an alpha showcase event that I did. I had Severin on the channel, and I showed her. I kept this a secret for over a year, and I showed her for the first time, and I showed the world all at once for the first time that I was the owner of that painting. It was a real special moment that I'll cherish, and I have it on camera. It's on Collector Arthouse YouTube, so I get to reflect back on that, and it's a good time. Avatar of Earth, wind, right? So it went from wind to air. Curio potential, maybe. Maybe we'll see that. I don't know. I mean, can you have a Curio of this card? It would have to be a foil in Alpha, because that's the only way it exists in the packs. So is there an Avatar of Wind Alpha foil Curio card? You need to check. You need to check, right? Because that's a significant change. This is a significant card. Has not yet been discovered. Curio theory, right? Sometimes you guess correct. Avatar of Fire. And then on the back of these, it's kind of cool. These are the home prints, right? So they don't exist in non-foil and full art. Only the foils have the full art, but these ones have the full art. So it's just like a nice, beautiful display for the binder potentially. All right, so those are the 4 avatars. Next, we have the Babel sequence. So this is a single painting by Dan Seagrave. I actually sold this painting, a consignment deal for a community member. I sold it to, I won't say who I sold it to because I can't remember if he revealed it or not. But see, this was one painting. This is what the original artwork looks like. I'm trying to go over the text box carefully. Very nice painting by Dan Seagrave. And for the cards, this would have been cool, Curio potential, right? Because you could have a Curio much like Step or, True of Parishes, Jihad, and Crusade that then merge the cards together as a singular card. And maybe that'll still happen, guys. Keep an eye out for that for Arthurian Legends or, if there's an Angels and Demons, Heaven and Hell, whatever future set may hold. You might see these as separate cards if they reinvigorate this concept, and then a Curio card that shows them singularly united. I think that has Curio potential. Are you watching, Eric? Are you watching? We'll see if that happens. But you have the base and the tower, and the way this worked was, and you see here's an example if it was marked up, right? So this apex gives 3 mana instead of 1 if the base of Babel is directly behind it, right? So you got to align them in the realm to get this effect to work together. And this says this base gives 2 mana instead of 1 if the apex of Babel is directly in front of it. So this is what I'm talking about early playtest, early development. This, I don't know, it's written over in marker, so it might have said 1 or 2, right? And then they were playing with the idea of like, oh, maybe that should be 3. These are some of the trades that were going on in playtest, and it's just a signature from the developer. So really cool piece of history there. And then, of course, we got the one Philosopher Stone. So Nate Robinson is noticing, if you notice the Atlas back on samples are different than normal. Yes. Yeah, that is, we know that to be true, Nate. And let me point out what you're talking there. We do have one Atlas. I believe the change you're talking about is on the sample pack Atlas cards, the regions of the realm had names on them, right? So here in the early days, I've talked about this on the channel. A lot of my earlier videos only have like a few hundred views. If you guys have the time and interest in the history, the historical development of the game, of the artwork, that type of thing, go back and watch my early videos where I talk about a lot of these discoveries. So here you have the names of the regions. On Alpha, you don't have this. You have the same map, but they removed all of the names. So we had Midland, Unland, Highland, and Fireland, right? And when I had, what was it? I had Elvira Shakarova on the channel. We talked about all of the concepts of her paintings. I did the same thing with True Parish. I had a lot of artists on the channel, right, for discussions or interview. And she talked about how one of her cards, I think it was the Nomads. If you look at Elvira's catalog of cards, she has, let's see, what did they change? The Rimland Nomads, right? There's no Rimland on the region. If I remember correctly, she told me that that was called Fireland Nomads in the early days when it was commissioned. Eric said, I need a Fireland Nomads, right? And then he ended up changing the name to Rimland Nomads, right? But some of these names persist. You still have like Midland Army, from Tony Sublow. And let's see, Highland Falconer, Andrea Modesti, Unland Eel, Drew Tucker, just to name a few. Those names persist, but on the map, that's a nuance and a very cool thing about these sample cards. Thanks, Nate, for pointing that out. That is another great thing about hitting an Atlas sample. I need some water. Probably need to blow my nose or something. All right, back to the showcase. The Philo Stone. Let me see on these Atlas cards. Yeah, and on these early playtest cards, you get the same thing. You see? The regions of the realm annotated on there. So when the precon started to surface for Alpha, we first noticed that those regions were removed. So that was cool. All right, so we got those. Then we have the counterspell cycle, right? So in the early days of development, you had ordinary, exceptional, elite. And again, by some miracle, we pulled 2 of these, one last week and one this week in the sample pack breaks. Ordinary counterspell, they were all 0 casting costs because the way this worked is they have this quick mechanic. Actually, I'm missing one. Hang on. How about that one, baby? How about that one? Unique counterspell. This is a sample card. One of the grails of grails, the only one we know to ever be discovered. To my knowledge, I mean, I haven't seen them anywhere. No one, like, people usually hit me up when they hit special unique things, and no one has reported that they've discovered this. This is Jussi Pilkus, and it's a unique counterspell, you know? So we got the ordinary, exceptional, elite, and unique. All right, so let's take a look at the unique counterspell and get into it. So it had a 0 casting cost. The reason for that is so you didn't have to tap on. You can't tap a card on your opponent's turn. These are played on your opponent's turn. That's what the quick mechanic implies. So, you know, counterspell you use when your opponent plays a spell, right? You counter the effect. So the idea here was you would counter a target unique spell. The interesting there is, you know, uniques are sometimes more powerful cards typically, and you can only have 1 in your deck, right? So it's not too disruptive. This can only count for 1. It's a unique card. You can only have 1 in your deck. Secondly, it can only counter a unique spell. So if they cast a spell that's ordinary, exceptional, or elite, you can't counter it. This card does nothing, you know. So it wasn't like too broken. It wasn't like you know, the Magic the Gathering counter spells where you could just counter anything, right? And they all work similarly, right? The elite quick magic, it can only counter a unique spell. Margaret Organ Keen, right? And this artwork hasn't been used yet. Doug Kovacs, exceptional counterspell, counter an exceptional spell. And of course, finally, the ordinary counterspell, counter an ordinary spell. So let's take a look here. We have the early playtest card, and we have the sample card that we just pulled. Let's do a quick analysis of any change and see if we can determine if these were developed around the same era. Looks like they were potentially printed around the same time. Sample packs, you know, I think I wrote in the article, we speculated in the fall of 2022 is when we think there was some anecdotal evidence that maybe that is when sample test print cards were printed. Go reference the article. I do note it there. But you see, like, everything appears to be the same here. Ordinary counterspell, 0 to cast, quick magic to foil an ordinary counterspell, or an ordinary spell, counter an ordinary spell. Oh no, there is a difference. Counter an ordinary spell as it's being cast. Interesting. So that is the one and only nuance. The flavor text is the same. So there is a change there. So that could be evidence that one development or design concept preceded the other. All right. So I'm not sure how old these are. I think the sample card. Let me think about this. It could go either way. You know, knowing when this developer came on board with the project, when the print and play files were available to people, versus the evidence we have of when the sample cards were printed. I don't know. It's close. They're both quite old and unique and interesting. What I want to do now, if you guys are interested, is we'll talk about Curio cards and probably show the most Curio cards you might ever see in one place on YouTube. So there's one. All right. We're going to see a lot of Curio cards here today, guys. Mostly alpha. I am chasing alpha hard, right? This isn't the actual copy. I have another copy here that's live for auction right now. But we have The Murder of Crows by Mikhail Nagy-Paul. Let me just grab the one that's up for auction now. Happen to have it close by. All right. So this is up for auction. Ends tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's currently at $500. Hasn't triggered reserve just yet. But this is you know, another great artwork by Mikhail Nagy-Paul. There's not a lot of Curio cards that have artwork that were not used in the core set of the game. There are a handful, right? There's a few. But for Alpha, there's very few. And this is one example, Murder of Crows, right? So we have the old casting cost that almost looks like a Plains and Magic the Gathering. You know, a lot of these are throwbacks to early historical development. So you see kind of like the toughness symbol is different, the casting cost symbols. It's got a real cool, very simple flavor text, being animal, right? So this preceded the concept of card rarity, right? Unless animal was a rarity or being. I mean, it doesn't really make sense, right? So how do you even know the rarity of this card? I'm not quite sure. Maybe this was like too premature and raw at this time. It wasn't quite fleshed out or decided yet. And then the mechanics, very basic. Flying, deal 2 damage to a target. So this, I speculate, might have been one of the extreme, like very, very, very early cards. And hang on a second. I want to go to one other thing. All right, we need to talk about the artist card, right? Let me state a case to defend why I think this might be one of the oldest, earliest historical tributes to the roots of sorcery. Take a look at this card here. Someone was asking recently in the official Discord, first of all, why do I have these signatures? I went to the IX art show. There were 5 sorcery artists there this year. I got each one of them to sign this card. So it's very cool, very special. I love this. Right? But in this card, and beautiful card, by the way, I hope to do this for every set. It's a wonderful tribute to the artist. Really showcases and spotlights them. Very nice message here. A big thank you to the extraordinary artists of sorcery. All artists retain copyright of their work. So, maybe Eric heard me bitching and moaning about how the copyright symbol was taken off of the cards in favor of, do I even have an alpha card laying around here? You know, they have the alpha symbol at the bottom of the card instead of the copyright. This card, when you get it right in the top, in the box topper, it says, hey, the artist owned the copyright, you know? So that's nice. What's also very cool about this is that the artists are listed in the order that they were commissioned for the project. So it starts top from bottom left column and then top to bottom right column. So the very first artist ever commissioned for Sorcery Contested Realm is Andrea Modesti. And then second, Mikhail Nagy-Paul. And this is where I get back to my theory that this card might have been one of the first ever conceived cards in Sorcery. And this is like a throwback to the very earliest days of the development of the game. It's Mikhail Nagy-Paul, second ever artist. It's an artwork that ultimately was not used in the core set for the game, yet still introduced. Interesting, it has the crows, right? And he has the Blood Ravens card. So he does like amazing work with crows and everything. Scenic landscapes. Freaking guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable talent. All right. And the original painting, Mikhail sent it to me, and I showed it on the Sorcery Contested Realm community group. They have this scantily clad lady here. Her dress like plunges a little lower than seen here, and you get more cleavage on the lady. So Eric's like, hey, let's clean that up a little bit. Let's so you had him like redo it or like adjust it, and you know, it's a little different on the Curio here. But you have like in the early days of the development of the game, it was a more traditional play style, much like Magic the Gathering. You know, it was not a grid-based game, so it had these simple mechanics. And like getting back to, I'm not sure exactly. Someone was asking here, what does the wheel do? I don't know. We'd be guessing and speculating, but it might have something to do with the damage, right? You see 2 black dots. It does it deals 2 damage, and then it's kind of not filled in on the left, or it's white versus the black, symbolizing the 2. I don't know. Maybe it relates to the casting cost because you have 4 quadrants of the triangle potentially if this were filled in, and it's 4 to cast, 2 and 2. But it deals 2 damage, and it deals 2 damage to a target, not a target adjacent or nearby or 2, 3, 4, 5 steps away. You know, so it precedes the grid-based design of the game, in my opinion, and I think this is why potentially this is a homage to one of the earliest most cards in the game, much like Black Obelisk is with the name Omnipotence. 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 All right. So let's put that aside. Put that up there so I don't mix it up. There's another copy, Murder of Crows. Only one is being made available. When Murder of Crows ends tonight, we will see this beta Curio card launched, right? So this was, look at the condition of this card. Beautiful. This one looks like it has the potential to grade nicely. The edging is never quite perfect. It looks very nice and clean on the face. But here you have one of the beta Curios, Jeff Easley's Critical Strike. And this was, remind me guys, was it the box topper or pledge pack? I think it was the box topper, and it was in non-foil, right? So this one, even though it's an alternate art, we don't know if there's a distinction between alternate art or a Curio. They seem to be of similar rarity, so we're just calling it a Curio for convenience. But this is, and with that said, a beta Curio. And it's a foil, but it has no full art in the back. All standard, mainstream, regular set foils are full art on the back. This one is foil front, regular card back. So we have this Curio coming tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Amazing, beautiful artwork by Jeff Easley. So that's very nice. And look forward to that as the Murder of Crows wides down this evening. All right. So Jack for sure says, being that is foil and has no art on the back. Yeah. That is the distinction that you know that is a different kind of card. Different kind of card, baby. All right. Next up, Alpha Curios, right? Eric's Curiosa sketch card. So it was kind of the image that was teased in the Kickstarter. We had speculated that there would be sketch card Curios, and lo and behold, in Alpha, very few discovered, very few in the world. Very special card. Eric's Curiosa sketch card. Francesca Berald. All right. The next one, really love this one. Belfry. Or Belfry? I don't know. Here again, you have the wheel. Now, what does the wheel actually mean? I don't know. Maybe I got it wrong on my last one. This one gains 1 potency, but it still has the 2 black of the wheel filled in. Again, you have a similar planes casting cost. Notice it's on the right here this time instead of the left. So that was changed. Casting cost was moved to the left. In the upper right, you have the power level typically. There's a unique different like symbol represented here on this card. So again, historical significance. It's historical development of the game, and it's a legendary site. You know, couple things here. Legendary, a rarity that does not currently exist in the meta in alpha and beta. A site in a vertical portrait orientation. We know that along the time of development, over the time of development, they decided to change the portrait style Atlas sites to landscape style because of the stacking effect. You know, when you play a card in the game, you put cards on top of cards, and you can still kind of see what it is or what the mechanic is. You have a little more surface area real estate to do that. So there's your Belfry. You know, and there's some details here at the bottom. A lot of these cards say full art, 25 of 300. We don't exactly know the significance of that. Real funny, cool thing is it says KS 2019. So you see, they intended to bring this card to market in 2019. We know it ended up taking a little bit longer than that. So here we are now. The 9-card Curio, one of the most polarizing. I think, if I remember correctly, this might be the first Curio ever discovered. Because, like, how can you miss it, right? Like, people are pulling this, and they're, like, showing it. I remember, this is a fun memory. Someone discovered the card, right? He shows the picture, and I was like, dude, show me the Curio. And he sends me this picture. I was like, why are you showing me all those cards? I want to see the Curio. And he was like, that's the Curio. And I was like, no. I don't want to see the 9 cards. I want the Curio. He sends me the picture. He says, that's a Curio. And I say, no. Not 9. Just the 1 Curio. You know, like in an image, you couldn't really tell, right? And then he like he's like, no, that's 9. They're all on the card. And I was like, what do you mean they're all on the card? So it's one card. They have 9 images, right? I love this one too. Milton Med loves it. This is maybe my favorite curio. And I did a deep dive article on curios where I talked to like every one of these artists, and I was like, tell me what makes this card significant. You know, like what was the commission it was asked for? Did the art change on this? Did he show you the mechanics? Did that change? So I kind of like wrote up an article explaining each one of these one by one, and then I zoomed in and showed the significance. Like this one became the first ever Innkeeper store kit prize card from Vincent Pompetti, right? And I have a copy here. This is the promo, right? The champion. And it's changed quite a bit because this is a prize card from the Alpha Innkeeper store kit. Foil, see the Alpha logo in the text box? That angle, you could kind of see it nicely. But in the early days, it was called Ormond Holmganger. And it's going to be difficult to see because the camera can't quite pick it up. But in the upper left, it says Olmford Holmganger. Holmganger is like, if I remember correctly, it's a Swedish combat style. Kind of like a group attack type thing. You can go Google it. It's pretty interesting. But you see that this was envisioned to be a functionally playable card early on. And I contacted Vincent Pompetti the day that I kind of teased this out of Eric. We were talking in a Discord, and he had his registry with BGS for his vintage Magic collection was called Holmganger. So I Googled that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know, because like Eric's like from Sweden. This is Swedish combat style, so had some personal significance to him. And I was like, when are we going to see the Holmganger card? And he was like, oh, how about this one? And then he showed the freaking card, right? And it was this. And so I contacted Vincent Pompetti right away. I was like, dude, do you still have this painting? This is awesome. This is like early days. I didn't know Vincent too well. You know, now we like work together and have developed a bit of a friendship, you know, so we know each other well and have talked a ton. But he had it. And like I wasn't sure like if it was going to be used in the game. It was kind of like early days, well before the Kickstarter, and like, you know, money was tighter, and I was like, I wasn't like, I had like just a very early budding painting collection, so I kind of like hesitated and I didn't pull the trigger, and someone else ended up buying it. So it was one of my regrets. I could have owned this painting. Would have been super cool. But it was the first like prize card in Sorcery. And then there's different stories here, you know, like the windmill again was in the portrait orientation that ended up becoming a landscape atlas site. Same with the tower here from Mikhail Nagy-Paul. He actually painted it like this, and I have the original painting I shared on the community Facebook group. He changed that to an atlas landscape orientation. All kinds of interesting rich history built into that singular card. How rare are those Alpha Champions? Well, with those Alpha Champion promo cards, there were 24 copies per Innkeeper pledge. And there was, if I remember correctly, 120 or 130 some Innkeeper backers. So multiply that by 24, there's your pop of that card. Do the math, I don't know. 24 times, call it 140 to be conservative. All right. My latest acquisition here, Wind Blast. So this is from Mikhail Nagy-Paul. The artwork here was changed. There is a Wind Blast in the core set. This is a different art version of that card. And, you know, the history here is Eric really liked this painting that Mikhail had done that preceded Sorcery. And it resembled more of this type of layout, right? But then for the game, they created the Wind Blast that currently exists in the core set, which was like a different take on that artwork that he thought worked better for the game's purposes. So he still retained this, ended up using it as a curio card in the alpha debut. And this is a really beautiful artwork. This is one that does not come across as well on camera as it does in person when you're holding the card. It's got a really beautiful color composition to it, and actually quite a lot of detail that's very impressive. Again, we talked about this earlier, the Grid Lord. So this shows up on the back of the Sorcerer card in Alpha. And on the back, oh, Bitter Cardboard got the Sidewind sample. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, actually. There is a card, there's a sample test print card called Sidewind that uses this artwork. And I would love to own that, to kind of complete my set. And I'm a really, Mikhail is a friend of mine. He's one of the artists I work with, and he's an awesome guy. I'm really impressed with his work. So I'd really love to own that sample card, but there's not a lot to exist in the world, so that'd be tough to acquire. But yeah, so this is an artwork that was test print. So the Curio is also a homage to that early test print version, which was then changed for Alpha. So thanks for bringing that up, man. That's awesome. Gridlord, very interesting. You see on the borders, let me see. The border of this really stands out because it's like, I don't know if that was intentional. I think they're all like that, right? You see there's like a thicker border on the new sorcery cards. This is one of the other curios that has happened in the grab Belfry. So it's like a little thicker black border. But then when you look at Gridlord, the Francesca Beralde artwork extends almost all the way to the border. So I think that's likely a homage to that card design change, right? And then, of course, the Gridlord name, you don't have an avatar at a realm at war. That was scrapped. Sorcery, contested realm, no contested realm. So it's just Gridlord. 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 I think it's a cool name. I don't know, man. That's a curio. I like it. And then Grim Tangle. What was it? Tangle Terrain or something this changed to in Alpha. Continuous event, right? So significant mechanic change. Again, you have the wheel. You got the same metadata at the bottom. Kickstarter 2019. Full art 25 of 300. Art copyright Drew Tucker. Some mana symbols that kind of look like swamps. Again, we saw that power mechanic before, just the one. So that's quite different. And there you have it. Shitload of curios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 alpha curios. 7 alpha curios. Extremely rare. Let's talk about promo cards. Then you have this guy coming tonight for auction. Hey-o. Critical Strike. All right. Promo cards and then out. We gotta look at a little bit of art too, right? All right. Thank you for doing this. Learning a lot. Glad I took half stumble on Facebook. Need to run, but loving it. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for popping in, man. My pleasure. It's a lot of fun. All right. Relentless Crowd. 100 copies of the Relentless Crowd made, as reported by the company, presented to early developers. Not early developers. Early community members that were engaged in the early days. That's when they were first. What I was getting at is they had a playtest feedback thing. Feedback. What do you call it? They had like a, I don't know. They had a thing where they were soliciting feedback for playtest early on. And if you played the game, had questions, or gave them feedback on the gameplay in any form or fashion, you were awarded a Relentless Crowd. They also had a thing where, like, if you were playing with the print and play cards very early on, well before Kickstarter, and you submitted a picture, you get a card. I didn't do that like an idiot. I should have done that. This is a very valuable, very rare card, on 100 copies. I got one because of the playtest, provide feedback, ask questions about the mechanics of a few cards. Got one of those. And then there was one given to, I think I acquired the other one just for early influencers or people passionate about the game that helped the project in some way. So, through my efforts with I was very honored, the collectorarthouse.com website was featured in the Kickstarter campaign. That was very flattering because, guys, I had no idea how to create a website. I just YouTubed it and taught myself, the basics and made it, reasonably presentable and functional. Did a lot of research on all the artwork as I really fell in love with the game and researched the history of all the artists and did a lot of interviews with the artists and curated all the artwork in a full art gallery, wrote articles, Q&A interviews, all types of stuff. A lot of rich information on that website. So they featured it in the Kickstarter campaign, which was awesome. And it continues to be a great resource for the community. And there you go. So I was awarded another Relentless Crowd, and there you go. I got 2 of those. Awesome artwork by Ian Miller. What else we got here? The sketch card. You know what? Maybe I confused the Relentless Crowd. It was the sketch card that was for the playtest feedback. I apologize. The Relentless Crowd was for... yes, okay. So I got one for my efforts in the community and supporting the game, helping build awareness for the game, being an advocate for the project. Thank you from the company, and I greatly appreciate that. The second one was from, there was that submit a picture contest, but this one... Shit, I lost my train of thought. So I got one for my contributions to the project. What was the other one from? It wasn't playtest. It'll come to me. I got to think about it. What the hell was it? Man, it's been a lot of action in the last few years. I don't know. Just look at the card. It's amazing. It'll come to me. I got to think about. Oh, I got it. So there was a Q&A very early on. They asked the Discord, they said, hey, submit some questions for Eric and the team, right? And I submitted dude, I was like, I've been so into the game for so long that I had a million questions, right? I submitted 20 questions. Some guys, few questions here and there. Some people just one question. I had 20 questions. From that, Eric selected his favorite question, and that's how I was awarded this one, right? They decided to give one away based on his favorite question. I think the question was, I'm trying to think. I want to say, I asked him about the similarities of this project coming to market, and that when he was part of Grinding Gear, he co-founded Grinding Gear Games with two other guys, Chris Wilson and another guy, right? And I said, when you brought that game to market, you innovated on the concept of Diablo, right? As a dungeon crawler type concept game. And similarly, now here we have Sorcery, which pays a lot of tribute and homage to Magic the Gathering in a lot of ways. And he liked that question because he thought it was accurate, it kind of picked up on the entrepreneurial spirit of how successful entrepreneurs usually do not bring radical change in something wildly different to market. There are significant disruptors, obviously, in the history of time that have done that and have been great success. But oftentimes in entrepreneurship, you take an already successful, great idea and you augment that or introduce a new take on that. And that is more so the story of Sorcery, right? Because you have Magic the Gathering as kind of the pinnacle success in TCGs of this nature. And that was kind of the inspiration for this game, Eric was a big Magic guy, and he innovated on that. And there's a lot of ways it's similar, a lot of ways it's different. The Mage Slayer photo contest, no, the award for that was 7 packs of Alpha, which I still have laying around somewhere. But yeah, I did. That Mage Slayer, that was cool. I had my son slit in my throat on Mage Slayer, bleeding out on the dinner table over my spaghetti, something like that, on a book. Tony Sudlow. This was the playtest award. If you were in the first round of playtest, you got a copy of this Francesca Berald back of the Sorcerer Contestant Realm sketch of this artwork, right? So another Berald sketch. That's why I had to have the Eric's Curiosa sketch. You got to have it all, right, guys? So if you're the first in the playtest, you get the signature from Eric. If you're in the second round, same card, no signature. Beautiful, beautiful piece of art here from Francesca. All right, so that's a very cool one. And then the store promos, right? So I already talked about this one. In Alpha, you had the Holmganger, the champion, Vincent Pompetti, foil card, promos, regular art back. Mainstream core set cards, full art back. We'll love to see this in a full art somehow. Maybe that can be a Curio. Make this an Alpha. Or no, make this a foil with a full art. There you go. Come on, Eric. You could do it. Make it a functionally... I guess you can't make it functionally playable. Just introduce it. The champion in Arthurian Legends. Foil, full art. Give Vincent his due and give us that card in full art. All right, the champion is the new beta store kit card. Also Vincent Pompetti. Amazing artwork. You know, kind of harkens to the Ruler of Thul, right? Where it has this like wintry, mountainous horizon. This is incredible work by Vincent. The action shot, the storytelling that's happening here, the detail, you know, the Frazetta vibes with the Jacked Warrior slaying this dragon. I mean, it hits all the feels, checks all the boxes. The two champions by Vincent. Alpha, Beta. Alpha, Beta. Awesome. Make sure you guys pick those up. Go win a tournament. Buy one. Do whatever you got to do. And then there were 3 of these in foil and what, like a dozen, 15, 17, something non-foil, I forget. Amazing artwork by Jesse Pilkus. Very great job by Eric and the team with the tasteful foil accenting to really bring this card to life. Very cool. And those are your core promos. I do not have the Gen Con promo, but this is quite a collection. I got the art card just chilling. Great collection of some of the top promos in Sorcery Contested Realm. These are the top ones, in my opinion. Nothing beats that set. The Gen Con one is very cool, too. I wish I had one of those, but I don't. But there could be more coming, they said. All right, last but not least, we will touch upon a bit of artwork that we started the show with. All right, and I won't spend like too much time here. I've done this a bit in other events. Maybe I'll save some of this in more detail for the next sample pack break, number 7. But first of all, if you have artwork that isn't quite framed, it happens to the best of us. You buy the artwork, you don't have time to frame it, or you have extreme anxiety on getting the framing just right. Or you're waiting to fill out your collection because you've been waiting for your foil sheets for an eternity, and they finally arrived, and then you're paralyzed in inaction because now you got all these foil sheets, you got all these paintings that you've been buying, and you got to figure out where to put them in the room and get rid of other stuff, right? So you need a art portfolio of different sizes. This one's 8.5 by 11 because these are smaller pieces. You know, thin little book, acid protective sleeves. Very nice. It does the job, right? While you're waiting. All right, so in this, I have several amazing historical relics. The first being the sketch cards from Elvira Shakarova, the early design concepts of the mix. These were the original sketches submitted to Eric for selection, or, you know, for him to choose which one he wanted for the cards. You have these ones. This is very interesting. I wonder if this could be a Curio, guys. Think about if that would work as a Curio in Arthurian Legends. You know, what is she clutching the Holy Grail? That's what it says to me. I think that has massive Curio potential. Eric, are you listening? Do it. Just do it. Have her paint that, or just do it as I don't know. This could be like it's like a rough. It's like a thumb sketch. You know, it's not like super detailed and refined. But just commission Elvira to paint this and make it part of Arthurian Legends, or just go raw sketch. You know, it doesn't have to be like a super detailed sketch. This is like plenty detailed. It's beautiful, and it's so fitting for Arthurian Legends. Just do it. Just do it. All right. So you have several pieces here, and again, maybe you know this is getting long. I want to wrap it up soon, but I kind of wanted to show some of these, a lot of the Elvira sketches from her alpha pieces, and then we'll finish up here with the King of the Realm. This is the sketch for King of the Realm from Tony Sublow. Very detailed, refined sketch. And Eric kind of selected this artwork as is, except these dragon demons, these like whatever these guys are, these creatures, that was removed. You know, so it's more centered around the king. When you see the final King of the Realm artwork, there it is. There's the sketch concept. He says, make this halo effect Tony decided he wanted to make this the tribute to the famous art piece, and Eric says, let's simplify it, remove the dragons, focus just on the king of the realm, and there you have it, painted himself. For my artist proof of that one. And Bitter Cardboard got to go to draft soon. All right, man. Good luck. Have a lot of fun, dude. The card is cool, but that sketch is fire. JC, thanks, buddy. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here soon. We had, 50 people, 70 maybe at the peak. Thank you for tuning in. That was just YouTube. I know some people follow on Facebook. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, with me for the sample pack break and a look at the history of sorcery and many alpha curios. Sample pack break number 7 is open for orders. We'll do it again. At last check, 5 of the 15 slots were sold. You can buy as many as you'd like. There's discounts for multiple. As soon as it gets sold, it gets scheduled, and we'll do this again. Thanks for tuning in. Congrats for all the epic wins here. Another great pack. I cannot believe it. The Ordinary Counterspell lands once again. Absolutely incredible. And we got some great historical pieces with a lot of interesting history and change as we walk through. Thanks, Ted, Griffin Orr, Mill2 Med, JC, Bitter Cardboard, Anthony Taylor, Sophie, Jack for sure. Everybody who tuned in, John Rothrock, Matthias Frisk, great artist, John Philip Gack, Paul Cho. Thank you guys. Nuvix Gaming, good to see you. Jeff Pellegrin, Sam A. Dylan Macco, great artist, up and comer. Hopefully lands in sorcery. Cosmic Seeds was here earlier. I don't know, man. Ted's Basement. K.A.? K.A. I think I hit it. Orianis in Germany. I think I hit everybody that commented. Thank you, guys. It's a lot of fun. We'll do it again soon. Happy holidays if we don't talk sooner. Have a great day. Take care.